This chapter provides a general overview of the different ways in which technology has changed the business landscape. It provides information on the young technology entrepreneurs who have started some of the world's most successful technology firms. The chapter also highlights the impact technology has had on various managerial disciplines and provides an overview of the various career opportunities in the field of technology. While technology is fundamentally transforming business environments, a report in Forbes suggests 72% of firms are failing at digital transformation. At the start of the prior decade, Google barely existed and well-known strategists dismissed internet advertising models. Today, billions in advertising dollars are pouring into digital efforts. Prior to the introduction of iPod, Apple was widely considered a tech industry has-been. Within 10 years, Apple had grown to be the most valuable firm in the United States, surpassing $2 trillion in market capitalization. Apple sells more music and generates more profits from mobile device sales than any firm in the world. Apple has also posted some of the most profitable quarters of any business in any industry. Apple's app sales through iTunes alone are larger than the revenues of more than half of the companies ranked in the Fortune 500. App stores are a contributor to the ease with which young entrepreneurs can have success in low-cost distribution to massive markets worldwide. When done right, app stores can virally spread awareness of a firm with nary a dime of conventional ad spending. Social media barely warranted a mention a decade ago, but today Facebook's user base is larger than any nation in the world. Facebook does not create media content. Firms are harnessing social media for new product ideas for millions in sales. Social media has also emerged as a catalyst for global change, with Facebook and Twitter playing key organizing roles in uprisings worldwide. Moore's Law and other factors that make technology faster and cheaper have thrust computing and telecommunications into the hands of billions in ways that are both empowering the poor and poisoning the planet. China started the prior decade largely as a nation unplugged and offline. Today, China has more internet users than any other country and has spectacularly launched several publicly traded internet firms that now have market caps and profits to match their U.S. rivals, including Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. The world's most valuable retailer, China's Alibaba, also carries the world's largest product inventory. China has emerged as a clear leader in smartphone payments. 4 of the 10 most downloaded apps were Chinese. In the first 10 months of 2017, Chinese consumers spent $12.8 trillion through mobile payments versus an only $50 billion full-year total in the U.S. The world's second most populous nation, India, has ridden technology to become a global IT powerhouse. In 2 decades, India's tech sector has grown from almost nothing to a $120 billion industry, expanding even during the recent global recession. India's TCS, or Tata Consulting Services, is the world's #2 technology solutions firm, second in size only to IBM. India has 500 million mobile internet users. India's e-commerce sector is growing so quickly that Walmart recently won a high-stakes bidding war against Amazon, paying $16 billion for a 77% stake in India's Flipkart, a leader in South Asian online shopping and payments. Even in the far reaches of nations in sub-Saharan Africa, fast, cheap tech is becoming an economic lubricant. 70% of the region's population lives within range of mobile phone coverage, a greater percentage than those who have access to reliable and safe water or electricity. Mobile phones using Ghana's Esoko empower the agrarian poor with farming info and commodity pricing, raising incomes and lowering the chance of exploitation by unscrupulous middlemen. Kenya's M-Pesa and Somaliland's Zaid use text messages to replace cash, bringing the safety and speed of electronic payment and funds transfer to the unbanked and leveraging mobile money at rates that far outstrip any nation in the West. Tech giants including Google, IBM, and Microsoft now run R&D centers and significant operations in several African nations, many of which now rank among the world's fastest growing economies. Fast and cheap computing is also helping create the multi-billion-dollar Internet of Things, or IoT. Cheap processors and software smarts are also empowering the drone revolution with far-reaching impact. Farmers use drones to regularly survey crops at closer distances and with greater regularity than satellite or plane flight could ever match. Soon, drones will be able to deliver medical supplies to remote regions of the world to support humanitarian efforts. The way people conceive of software and the software industry is also changing radically. Apple, Facebook, Google, IBM, Netflix, and Oracle are among the firms that collectively pay thousands of programmers to write code that is then given away for free. The rise of open source software has rewritten the revenue models for the computing industry and lowered computing costs for startups to blue chips worldwide. Cloud computing and software as a service are turning sophisticated, high-powered computing into a utility available to even the smallest businesses and nonprofits. Many organizations today collect and seek insights from massive data sets, which are often referred to as big data. Data analytics and business intelligence are driving discovery and innovation, redefining modern marketing and creating a shifting knife edge of privacy concerns that can shred corporate reputations if mishandled. Tech impact is reaching even beyond the confines of Earth itself. According to an example in your chapter, a tool on the International Space Station was recently printed on demand using 3D printing technology. The pervasiveness of computing has created a set of security and espionage threats unimaginable to the prior generation. Many of the world's most successful technology firms, organizations that have had tremendous impact on consumers and businesses across industries, were created by young people. Your book lists many examples. For example, Bill Gates was an undergraduate when he left college to found Microsoft, a firm that would eventually become the world's largest software firm and catapult Gates to the top of the Forbes list of world's wealthiest people. This enabled him to also become the most generous philanthropist of our time. Michael Dell was just a sophomore when he began building computers in his dorm room at the University of Texas. His firm would one day claim the top spot among PC manufacturers worldwide. Mark Zuckerberg founded Facebook as a 19-year-old college sophomore. Steve Jobs was just 21 when he founded Apple. Tony Hsieh provided his entrepreneurial chops when at 24 he sold Link Exchange to Microsoft for over $250 million. He'd later serve as CEO of Zappos, eventually selling it to Amazon for $900 million. Sergey Brin and Larry Page were both 20-something doctoral students at Stanford University when they founded Google. So were Jerry Yang and David Filo of Yahoo. Kevin Systrom was 26 when he founded the photo sharing service Instagram. Palmer Luckey was 21 when he sold Oculus VR to Facebook for $2 billion before the virtual reality firm even shipped its first consumer product. Steve Chen and Chad Hurley of YouTube were in their late 20s when they launched their firms. Jeff Bezos hadn't yet reached 30 when he began working on what would eventually become Amazon. Jen Hyman and Jenny Fleiss, founders of Rent the Runway, were in their 20s in grad school when they launched the firm that is recasting how millions of consumers engage with high-end designer apparel and accessories. David Karp of Tumblr was another early bloomer. Sean Fanning's Napster, widely criticized as a piracy playground, was written when he was just 19. Finland's Linus Torvalds wrote the first version of the Linux operating system when he was just 21. TechCrunch crows that internet entrepreneurs are like pro athletes. They peak around the age of 25. Businessweek regularly runs a list of America's best young entrepreneurs, the top 25 aged 25 and under. Inc. magazine's list of the coolest young entrepreneurs is subtitled the 30 Under 30. Whenever someone sees young people on the cover of a business magazine, it's almost certainly because they've done something groundbreaking with technology. The generals and foot soldiers of the technology revolution are filled with the ranks of the young. Shortly after the start of the prior decade, there was a lot of concern that tech jobs would be outsourced, leading many to conclude that tech skills carried less value and that workers with tech backgrounds had little to offer. This turned out to be stunningly wrong. Tech jobs boomed, and as technology pervades all other management disciplines, tech skills are becoming more important, not less. Today, tech knowledge can be a key differentiator for the job seeker. A principle called Moore's Law is behind fast, cheap computing. As computing gets both faster and cheaper, it gets baked into all sorts of products and shows up everywhere. An example can include the radio frequency identification or RFID tags that track luggage at the airport. As technology becomes faster and cheaper, and developments like open source software, cloud computing, software as a service, and outsourcing push technology costs even lower, tech skills are being embedded inside more and more job functions. There isn't a single modern managerial discipline that isn't being deeply and profoundly impacted by tech. Many business school students who study finance aspire to careers in investment banking. Many iBankers will work on IPOs or initial public stock offerings, in effect helping value companies the first time these firms wish to sell their stock on the public markets. IPO markets need new firms, and the tech industry is a fertile ground that continually spouts new businesses like no other. Other iBankers will be involved in valuing merger and acquisition, M&A deals, and tech firms are active in this space too. The technology sector has become a major driver of global M&A activity, and there were 3,389 deals in the TMT sector in 2017, totaling almost $500 billion. Leading tech firms are flush with cash and constantly on the hunt for new firms to acquire. Trader beware, software might take your job. Researchers in the US and China have shown an AI approach that beat major trading indices as well as traditional investment portfolio allocation strategies. Even in non-tech industries, technology impacts nearly every endeavor as an opportunity catalyst or a disruptive wealth destroyer. The aspiring investment banker who doesn't understand the role of technology in firms and industries can't possibly provide an accurate guess at how much a company is worth. Those in other finance careers will be lending to tech firms and evaluating the role of technology in firms as an investment portfolio. Modern finance simply wouldn't exist without tech. Tech isn't a commodity for finance, it's the discipline's lifeblood. Refer to Table 1.1 for the value of tech deals by sector in the year 2017. The numbers used by accountants are all recorded, stored, and reported by information systems, and the reliability of an audit is inherently tied to the reliability of the underlying technology. Increased regulations, such as the heavy executive penalties tied to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in the United States, have ratcheted up the importance of making sure accountants and executives get their numbers right. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act is a piece of U.S. legislation that raises executive and board responsibility and ties criminal penalties to certain accounting and financial violations. Negligence could mean jail time. The link between accounting and tech has never been tighter, and the stakes for ensuring systems accuracy have been even higher. Many of the careers at accounting firms are highly tech-centric. Every major accounting firm has spawned a tech-focused consulting practice, and in many cases these firms have grown to be larger than the accounting services functions from which they sprang. Today, Deloitte's tech-centric consulting division is larger than the firm's audit, tax, and risk practices. At the time of its spin-off, Accenture was larger than the accounting practice at former parent Arthur Andersen. Many firms that had previously spun off technology practices are once again building up these functions, finding strong similarities between the skills of an auditor and skills needed in emerging disciplines such as information security and privacy. Technology has thrown a grenade into the marketing landscape, and as a result, the skill set needed by today's marketers is radically different from what was leveraged by the prior generation. Online channels have provided a way to track and monitor consumer activities, and firms are leveraging this insight to understand how to get the right product to the right customer through the right channel with the right message at the right price at the right time. The success or failure of a campaign can often be immediately assessed based on online activities such as website visit patterns and whether a campaign results in an online purchase. The ability to track customers, analyze campaign results, and modify tactics has amped up the return on investment of marketing dollars, with firms increasingly shifting spending from tough-to-track media such as print, radio, and television to the web. New channels continue to emerge: smartphone, tablet, smart TV, smartwatch, and other wearables, smart auto, and more. The rise of social media is also part of the blown-apart marketing landscape. Now all customers can leverage an enduring and permanent voice capable of broadcasting word-of-mouth influence in ways that can benefit and harm a firm. Savvy firms are using social media to generate sales, improve their reputations, better serve customers, and innovate. Those who don't understand this landscape risk being embarrassed, blindsided, and out of touch with their customers. Central components of the new marketing toolkit include search engine marketing or SEM, search engine optimization or SEO, customer relationship management or CRM, personalization systems, and sensitivity to managing the delicate balance between gathering and leveraging data and respecting consumer privacy. Tech's role in marketing will only grow in prominence. A firm's operations management function is focused on producing goods and services. Quality programs, process redesign, supply chain management, factory automation, and service operations are all tech-centric. A company uses radio frequency identification tags to keep track of its inventory. This is an example of the impact of technology in the area of operations. Technology helps firms harness the untapped power of employees. Knowledge management systems are morphing into social media technologies, social networks, wikis, and Twitter-style messaging systems that can accelerate the ability of a firm to quickly organize and leverage teams of experts. Crowdsourcing tools and question and answer sites like Quora and Stack Overflow allow firms to reach out for expertise beyond their organizations. Human resources or HR directors are using technology for employee training, screening, and evaluation. The accessibility of end-user technology means that every employee can reach the public, creating an imperative for firms to set policy on issues such as firm representation and disclosure, continually monitor and enforce policies, and capture and push out best practices. The hiring and retention practices of the prior generation are also in flux. Recruiting is now grounded in information systems that scour databases for specific skill sets, allowing recruiters to cast a wider talent net than ever before. Job seekers are writing resumes with keywords in mind, aware that the first cut is likely made by a database search program, not a human being. The rise of professional social networks also puts added pressure on employee satisfaction and retention. While many students have been wisely warned that inappropriate social posts can ruin their job candidacy, the inverse is also true. In many ways, social media is the new resume. Many of the hottest areas in corporate law involve technology. In recent years, activity has dramatically escalated in a variety of areas. Areas of corporate law connected to technology include intellectual property, patents, piracy, and privacy. The number of U.S. patent applications waiting approval has tripled in the past decade, while China saw a threefold increase in patent applications in just 5 years. Firms planning to leverage new inventions and business methods need legal teams with the skills to sleuth out whether or not a firm can legally do what it plans, help them protect proprietary methods and content, help enforce claims in the home country and abroad. Recent surveys have shown there to be more IT openings than any field except healthcare. Tech jobs make up 2 of the top 3 best jobs on the U.S. News list. Technology careers have ranked among the safest careers to have during the most recent downturn. Students studying technology can leverage skills in ways that range from the highly technical to those that emphasize tech-centric use of other skills. Resources like Coursera, iTunes U, Code Academy, Udemy, edX, YouTube, and others provide a smorgasbord of learning where the smart and motivated can geek up. The high demand for scarce technical talent has also led many tech firms to offer 6-figure starting salaries to graduating seniors from top universities. Opportunities for programmers abound, particularly for those versed in new technologies. By some estimates, there will be 3 times the number of new U.S. programming jobs created than there are the number of new programmers graduating from U.S. colleges. There are also non-programming roles for experts in areas such as user interface design work to make sure systems are intuitive and easy to use, process design, leverage technology to make firms more efficient, and strategy, which specialize in understanding how technology relates to competitive advantage for the firm. Career paths allow for developing expertise in a particular technology, for example, business intelligence analyst, database administrator, social media manager, while project management careers leverage skills in taking projects from idea through deployment. In consulting firms, careers range from hardcore programmers who build stuff to analysts who do no programming but might work identifying problems and developing a solutions blueprint that has then turned over to another team to code. Careers that involve consulting and field engineering are often particularly attractive for those who are effective communicators and who enjoy working with an ever-changing list of clients and problems across various industries and in many different geographies. Upper-level career opportunities are also increasingly diverse. Consultants can become partners who work with the most senior executives of client firms, helping identify opportunities for those organizations to become more effective. Technology specialists can rise to be Chief Information Officer or Chief Technology Officer, positions focused on overseeing a firm's information system development and deployment. Many firms are developing so-called C-level specialties in emerging areas with a technology focus, such as Chief Information Security Officer or Chief Privacy Officer. Senior technology positions may also be a ticket to the Chief Executive's suite. With tech at the center of so much change, people may well be preparing for careers that do not yet exist. By studying the intersection of business and technology today, people develop a base to build upon and critical thinking skills that will help evaluate new emerging technologies. While a focus solely on technology is a recipe for disaster, a business perspective that lacks an appreciation for tech's role is also likely to be doomed. Technology and business are inexorably linked, and those not trained to evaluate and make decisions in this ever-shifting space risk irrelevance, marginalization, and failure. Today's winners have no guarantee of sustained dominance. What students should acquire in the pages that follow are a fourfold set of benefits. First, provide a description of what's happening in industry today. Second, offer an introduction to key business and technology concepts. Third, offer a durable set of concepts and frameworks that can be applied even as technologies and industries change. Fourth, develop critical thinking that will serve you well throughout your career as a manager. For the remainder of the semester, we will study 7 chapters. Chapter 2 focuses on building big picture skills to think about how to leverage technology for competitive advantage. Chapter 5 focuses on understanding the implications of technology change for firms and society. Chapter 6 introduces the concept of disruptive innovation to help managers understand why so many large incumbents are beat by new entrants. In Chapter 8, we focus on how technologies, services, and platforms can create nearly insurmountable advantages. Chapter 10 expands on peer production concepts to explore the so-called sharing economy and collaborative consumption. Uber, the world's largest taxi service, owns no vehicles for hire, for example. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns several major hotel corporations. This shows how much wealth is being created in the shared economy. Chapter 13 offers a primer to help managers better understand what software is all about. Chapter 18 discusses one of the most influential and far-reaching firms in today's business environment, Google. That's the end of Chapter 1. Thank you.